first started my mental health journey after battling stage 4 liver cancer, I didn't really let myself feel the emotions that were happening at the time. Like, the reality of what I was going through did not set in until it was over for me. It was never truly over, but whenever treatment was stopped and we were going on maintenance scans, that was when I finally let myself feel all of those feelings of I lost a significant part of my childhood. I lost a significant part of high school years due to this thing that was out of my control. And all of those emotions were really hard to deal with on my own, and it wasn't enough to go to my mom about them. It wasn't enough to go to my dad or any other family member. That was when I knew that I really needed outside help. I needed to talk to somebody, and that's when I started seeking out therapy. And with the help of my mom, thankfully, she is a very big advocate for mental health. At the beginning of my junior year, I had just come back to school, and I realized I was having a hard time relating to people my age, and I didn't know how to communicate anymore because I had missed so much time when I was in the hospital, and realizing that I no longer knew how to have friends when previously I had never struggled to have friends, keep friends, or hang out with friends or anything. That tore me down in a way that I never would have expected. And having those feelings on top of the feelings of I almost lost my life to this deadly disease, it caused me to come home crying almost every single day. And I tried my best to keep it together at school while I was around people. But knowing that is how I was feeling and recognizing that pattern of this existential dread of going to school every day, it was something that I picked up on very quickly and realized I cannot continue this pattern without some sort of help intervening to show me how to do this in a way that's more healthy for me and for my family, who was also seeing me struggle and didn't know what to do about it. If I had to describe mental health in one word, it would be terrifying. The beginning part of it, admitting you need help, realizing you need help, and not knowing what to do or who to ask or if you can even talk about it, that part is probably the scariest part of the entire journey that you will take in your path to figuring out your own mental health. A lot of people say that it is one certain way or it's something else, but I think realizing that everybody is different and is going down a different path and has different needs than you may have is also another part that can be terrifying, but it's something you have to figure out to allow yourself to heal. I'd have to say my mom is the person who really showed up for me. Of course, all of my family has, but my mom is the person who was there whenever I was sick and I was only allowed to have one person in the room due to COVID. So she saw me through the worst parts of it, and she helped me when I was finally able to admit that I really need help. So I'd have to say that that's my mom. I think that a lot of people try their hardest to hold themselves together because it is so easy to let yourself fall apart, and everyone knows it is a million times harder to put yourself back together after you let yourself fall apart. But the reality of holding yourself together is eventually all of that tension that's building up is going to have to break out in some form. And it's better to let it break out in a healthy way, like going to therapy or talking to somebody, than it is to let it out on somebody that you love accidentally whenever you're just at a point where you've had too much and they bring something else to you, or you're just over it and you've had your breaking point, because there are times where that is not going to be tolerated. There are going to be people who don't deserve that lashing out that you're giving them just because you are in a bad state. And I think admitting that you need to fall apart and put yourself back together is really hard for a lot of people. I think that most people don't want to admit that they need counseling or some kind of therapy, because a lot of people think that they're doing all right until they have that big breakdown. And there are a lot of things that you can do before that happens, and I wish that I myself would have done them and seen the signs that people were pointing out the signs to me, and I just was in denial, and I thought that I could handle it on my own. So I think just listening to the people around you who love and support you and truly want the best for you, because a lot of times they are telling you things that are going to help you out in the future. Just maybe it's hard to admit to ourselves sometimes that we need help, but it's okay if we need help.